Events in Europe continue to dominate world financial markets overnight. In Greece, the political crisis continues, with a deadlock over forming the government now moving into its second week. Most European governments have also been relatively firm on the point that they will not allow Greece to renege from its promises around the austerity measures. In news in other European countries, Spanish and Italian bond yields went up, raising the price of borrowing for those governments. In the Netherlands, there were significant bitter debates between the pro- and anti-austerity measures parties, which doesn't bode well for the June election. And in Germany, even there, signs that austerity may be under threat, with Angela Merkel's party losing the regional election over the weekend, which suggests that maybe her position will be eroded. So looking at markets then, in terms of commodities, down across the board, with gold, copper and oil falling overnight. In terms of the equity markets, a real red ink night. The Dow fell by more than 100 points to be below the 12,700 point mark. In terms of Europe, most European indices down by around 2%. Looking at currencies, the trading currencies which rely on commodities such as the Kiwi and Aussie were down overnight, both falling against the US, the pound and against the Japanese yen. Late last week, the Department of Statistics released its figures in terms of agricultural production for the year ended 30 June 2011. And it showed that meat-producing animals, in terms of the national flock and the beef herd, had actually gone backwards relative to the 2010 season. Interestingly enough, that paints a significantly different picture to the trend I talked about yesterday in terms of the dairy herd. Looking at the beef herd first, the beef herd was down around 100,000 animals in terms of 2011 versus 2010, with the beef herd dropping to around 3.8 million head. The main area that lost the animals was in the North Island, particularly around the Bay of Plenty and Northland, which indicates that potentially significant conversions have been going on in those areas. In terms of the national flock, however, the picture is slightly different. Although there was a significant reduction in animals, around 1.4 million head, that was predominantly in the South Island and was attributed to the fact of the significant snowstorms that affected Otago and Southland in terms of 2010 lambing. One of the key things which still underpins the reduction in terms of the beef herd and the sheep flock is the profitability of dairy. With payouts for dairy expected to be down slightly next year, it'll be interesting to see what the statistics for 30 June 2012 show in terms of the animal numbers in New Zealand.